Hey everyone, from wherever you're tuning in from today. We hope you enjoyed your quick break, whether you were running to grab a coffee, checking your email, or if you're like me, telling a family member, have you tried turning it off and on again? Today we're going to take a look back at all of the things that have happened with the CMS Hub since our last developer day. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm LaPorte. I'm a senior CMS developer advocate, and I've been with HubSpot for just over a year now. Prior to coming to work for HubSpot, I worked for a Platinum agency partner as a web developer. But enough about me. Let's take a look at what we're going to cover today. First, we'll go over what we've launched since the last developer day. Spoiler, it's a lot. Then we'll take a look at something many of you have been asking about. What betas are currently available to get involved with? So let's jump right in. We'll start with a launch that really got developers excited. In February, we announced the official release of our HubSpot CMS CLI tooling. This allowed our developers to take their development outside of the design manager, and for some, streamline their HubSpot development workflows and processes. The CLI allows you to use your own preferred local development tools, such as code editors, libraries, and more. We also created a guide on our docs to aid you in setting up continuous integration with GitHub for improved version control and developer workflows. Not familiar with developer workflows or just starting out? No worries. The docs also have a guide on how to create an efficient development workflow. To view the guides, just hop over to our CMS docs on developers.hubspot.com and look for the CMS developer tutorials in the Other Resources section. We also wanted to tell you that starting today, we have officially released a stable version of our plugin for the VS Code editor. This plugin offers syntax highlighting and autocomplete for Hubble code, as well as bracket wrapping, indentation, and other helpful editor features. You can find it by searching for HubSpot VS Code extension in the add-ons section of Visual Studio Code. Another thing we launched in March of 2020 was an update to our developer documentation. Multiple teams inside of HubSpot came together, and we completely overhauled the docs to help it make it easier to find what you were looking for and convey a better understanding of the concepts and best practices when building on the HubSpot CMS. These docs are evergreen, so be sure to circle back to them from time to time to find new and exciting things. Now, it's a well-known fact that when developers and content creators work together, you can really create something amazing. Back in April of 2020, we introduced CMS Hub. With creating CMS Hub, we've taken a developer-first approach by incorporating features that allow developers to create better direction when working with content editors and creators. We'll review these features shortly, but first, if you didn't get a chance to review the stellar talks by both Will Spiro and Alex Gerard during Inbound last week about CMS Hub, we highly encourage you to do so, as they dig deeper into the CMS Hub features than we will today. Now, let's start with a feature that began in beta back in February, but was rolled out officially in conjunction with CMS Hub. That being themes. These are a package of assets containing modules, HTML plus Hubble coded templates, partials, and more. With themes, you can create a wide array of settings for content editors, from font selection to accent color options or anything in between. We also created a CMS boilerplate, which uses themes and is open sourced on GitHub. This boilerplate was built with best practices in mind and can be used as a starting point to get you up and running in minutes with theme development for the HubSpot CMS. In late June, we also started accepting themes onto our marketplace. Now, if you haven't made the transition over to themes yet, that's okay. There's no time like the present. To put in perspective how awesome themes are, we have seen hundreds of free themes on our marketplace being downloaded weekly. I also want to take a quick second to talk about our current running hackathon. With over 200 participants, our themes challenge gives you the opportunity to compete for over $30,000 in cash prizes. To learn more about the challenge, the rules, and deadlines, visit hubspot.devpost.com and sign up today. Now, back to our features. A really big part of themes is the ability to make use of our D&D area tags. Launched in early January as a beta and officially rolled out with CMS Hub as well, D&D areas have aided in closing the gap for creating templates that allow content editors and creators to build pages without having to rely on you, the developer, for things such as spacing and module placement on a page. These tags, when seen through the editor interface, allow creators and editors to place modules side by side as well as above and below content. These areas can be designated by the developer when building out the templates, which in turn gives you, the developers, more time to focus on other needs, such as performance, global elements, enhancements, or creating something really stunning using our next feature, serverless functions. Serverless functions are narrow-focused functions written in JavaScript using the Node.js runtime. They allow you to create scalable solutions without running the risk of exposing credentials by executing code on the server side as opposed to the front end. What you can do with serverless functions is limited only by your imagination. You can build dynamic calculators, make use of HubSpot API endpoints to push and pull information, or use them to pass data to third-party applications. If you want to really see a good example of something you can build with serverless functions, I encourage you to take a look at our event registration system app on GitHub. Now, the last feature we're going to discuss is something that was just announced last week during Inbound, and you'll hear more about this from Will Spiro shortly. Custom objects. So what is a custom object? Simply put, they're records of information, be that tracking, contractual, or location information, that are then associated with other standard objects, such as contacts or companies, which are then stored within a database, in this case the HubSpot CRM. In order to make use of custom objects, your HubSpot account needs to have at least one enterprise-level hub on the account, be that sales, marketing, service, or CMS. You can learn how to get started with custom objects by following the URL shown at the top of the screen. Now we're going to switch gears from things that have launched to something that many of you have been talking about as of late in the developer Slack and the forums. Let's take a look at some of the current betas we're running here at HubSpot in regards to the CMS. If you're interested in participating in any of these betas, simply visit the page at developers.hubspot.com/private-betas. The URL and the password to this page will be shown at the bottom of the screen for your reference from here on out. Our first beta we're going to mention is our collection of JavaScript library boilerplates for building apps using modules on our CMS. We currently have two variations for reference, which are the React and Vue.js boilerplates. You can find these openly available on our GitHub. We also have our responsive breakpoints and themes beta currently running. This allows you to configure breakpoints inside of your theme that can be referenced when building your templates while using your D&D area tags. Next up is our template swap experience. This lets you take a page that is using one of our old school legacy drag and drop templates and under the advanced settings, swap the content over to a new HTML plus Hubble coded template. Now we're going to flip over to our blog extractor beta. We've all had those clients who are migrating to HubSpot and have a blog on their site with countless pages of content. Our Smart Copy tool will analyze your blog posts and identify items such as the title, author, date, and more. Once this is done, you simply confirm the mappings of these items, and then the importer will do the rest. This alleviates the need for having to migrate all of that content manually. Now, I think the next two are really going to be something that you're going to be excited for. I know I am. SSL pre-provisioning. Today, when connecting a domain to HubSpot with an existing SSL, there's a window of downtime while the SSL, provisions. Users will now have the ability to pre-provision their SSLs in-app when connecting domains to HubSpot to ensure there is no downtime. Lastly in beta, the CRM object field. This is a module field that allows developers to build modules that can pull data from the CRM. This field works for all built-in CRM objects as well as custom objects. Now let's move to our final reveal. But wait, AJ, didn't you just say lastly? Correct. However, this next slide isn't about things in beta, but what's about coming soon. So let's take a look at what we have coming up. We're working toward having our first two listed here ready by the end of the year. With Smart Content for All, it's exactly what it implies, enabling the use of smart content for all modules, including custom modules. For our drag and drop for global content, it'll be the same current functionality we have inside of our D&D areas on pages, but now inside of global content as well. Last up, style fields. This will initially just affect modules, but this also means custom modules. We'll be able to have a style tab and be customized by you, the developer. We're working to have this in the first half of 2021. And with that, that's all for the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and as excited as I am about building the future on HubSpot. Thank you all for your time, and I look forward to seeing what you create next.